Right, hi there. So I just thought I'd make a quick video explaining what Itempool is and why I think it's quite a useful tool. So Itempool is a free website where you can essentially upload any questions that you create yourself, and you upload it onto the site, and then you can use those questions however you want. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Suppose that I am teaching, we'll say quadratics, seeing as I can see some there. So say I'm teaching quadratics. I can find all the questions that I've created on quadratics, easy enough to do. So for example, I've got a tag here called quadratics. And when I select that, it's going to show me all the quadratic questions that I've created and added to Itempool. Okay, so we can see all these are the questions I've got about quadratics. And then what I do with them is up to me. So if I select all the questions that I've got there, maybe I want to cherry pick and choose a few specific ones. Maybe I want to add them all. What I can do is I can either add them to a quiz. Now, a quiz is what we would be doing during lockdown. So we upload it, it's then generates a web link. Then the kids can go and they answer the questions. The quiz looks really good on their mobile phones, so they can do it on their phone or they can do it on a tablet or whatever. That's what the quiz does. Live challenge would be what you'd use in school. So think of Kahoot. It's similar to a Kahoot idea where the question appears on the board and then they answer on their phones, and you can kind of see the answers coming in as they do it. I'll probably say more about that when schools open again. I'll ignore add to video just now because that's quite an advanced thing. This is what is really quite exciting. The export to Google Doc or export to PDF. If you hit this button, what it does is it'll create a worksheet for you with these questions. So it just makes the worksheet. So again, that's quite useful for when schools go back. All these questions that you've been writing or giving and setting to kids now during lockdown, they will still exist for you to use in worksheets and in homeworks going forwards. And it just helps you sort of cherry pick. If you've got all these questions saved on a big bank, you can cherry pick which questions you want to give to whatever class. And I know for myself, I'll be using these questions for years to come now in worksheets. So I'll show you how you add a new item and what that looks like. So sort of ignore that. Okay, so I'm going to add a new item to my pool. So say, for example, I want to add a question about straight lines. So I'll just give it a name. We'll just call it straight lines. I could tag it. I'm not going to do that for this video, but I could just give it a suitable tag. And you can choose what sort of response you want. So you can make it multiple choice. Okay, where you'd fill in all the options and then you'd say which option is correct. Okay, it gives you a little example, so it pre-populates it with this example here just to show you how it works. You can just delete this. So say I want to do y equals 6x plus 5, and I say write the gradient, for example. Okay, so say that's my question. And then I can either make this multiple choice, okay? I can make it a free response, which is just where they get space to type. I can make it fill in the blank, which I think is what I'm going to do for this one. I just mark what the correct answer is. So I forgot what I wrote now, 6x plus 5. So gradient is 6. And what that'll do is that will mark it correct if they put a 6 in that box. The other type of response would be the math input response, which I think is worth having a quick look at. So math input, it's very similar to fill in the blank, but you can do things like allow equivalent expressions. For this, I'm thinking of cases where your answer is 5x plus 1, it would also accept 1 plus 5x for instance. So you can choose whether to allow equivalent expressions. Now, the best thing about the math input button is you see this table that popped up here. This will pop up for the students when they're answering the questions. So if you're giving them a question where the answer is x squared, for instance, it's really easy for them to type x squared in. They've got the superscript and subscript buttons and things like roots and all that sort of thing. So it just makes it nice and easy for them to answer. Okay, so that's a really quick tour of Itempool. There's one more thing I'd like to show you. And the thing I want to show you is this. You can see my pools here. So, for example, what I showed you a minute ago was my National 5 math pool. I've also got a BG pool as well with a bunch of questions there. But here, I've got all the pools that have been shared with me. So Lizzie is also using Itempool at the moment. So if I go here, this is Lizzie's National 5 maths pool. So as well as all the questions that I've got, I also have access to all the questions that she's wrote. Okay. Which is just brilliant because now suddenly I've got a whole bunch of different topics. So say me and Lizzie wanted to, go away and collaborate, we could say, right, I'm going to write a bunch of complete the square questions, you're going to write a bunch of quadratic questions, and then we would know that we just have access to all these items. Um, and again, item pool is a relatively new thing. I think what we'll probably find is as more and more teachers get wise to this thing existing, we'll probably find there's going to be a load of pools in existence. The reason item pool was created is the problem we have in education at the moment is we've got a billion different websites like My Maths or Diagnostic Questions or Maths Workout or whatever. You could list forever. There's loads and loads of different websites with loads of questions on them, but you know they're all locked in. They're locked into their own website, to their own ecosystem, and it's not great if all you want is to set a quick worksheet or set a quick task. You don't get to cherry pick from one website to the next. So the idea behind Itempool really is just to create one big bank where you've got all these questions, and it's just dead easy. And it's meant to be made as easy as possible to share questions with others. So again, as more and more teachers add stuff, we're able to nick from all over Scotland, from all over the world potentially, as more people get on this. So I hope that's give you a bit of an overview of what Itempool is and why we might be interested in using it. If you've got any questions about it or need any help getting set up with it, just ask me. I'm more than happy to talk you through it. I've gone through some of the simpler options here, but there's some quite complex things that you can do with Itempool as well. So again, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, just let me know and I will talk you through it. Right, ciao.